Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. America currently has a lot of problems, and maybe one of the reasons we can't seem to solve them is because we're unwilling to listen to outside voices. Enter Canadian comedian Jon Dore, whose new Comedy Central special, Big Questions, Huge Answers with Jon Dore, attempts to use an outsider's perspective to fix some of our biggest issues. Let's take a look.
Bring me your big questions and I'll find you huge answers.
I'm not an insider.
I'm not the establishment. And I'm not American. Did I just get your attention? Join me as I solve the two biggest threats to our children's safety: cyberbullying and predatory teachers. Let's say your trolling made me blow my head off in a microwave. Were you ever attracted to any of your teachers?
No, I did not. I was not at all. However, I mean...
How old do you think I am?
35.
Pretty good answer.
Actually, 40.
Why'd you do that? America is asking big questions. It's up to me to find huge answers. Let's make America a better place.
Everybody put your hands together for Jon Dore. Let's hear it.
Thank you so much. Apologize for this, by the way.
Phenomenal physique
Thank you.
that you have here.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I put on weight for the role a little bit right here. I had to. A lot of people wonder if that's a prosthetic. It's not. We can't afford a prosthetic, so I actually had to put on some weight. It's more realistic. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Did you go to a nutritionist, try to put it on the right way?
Did it the right way.
Like the Robert De Niro Raging Bull way?
Absolutely, correct. Yeah. You have to be safe. You've got to take precautions. If you're going to do that, you have to take precautions.
What did you find that was the best thing to eat to help put the weight on? And then how did you take it off?
Cake.
'Cause clearly...
Just cake constantly. Just ate nothing but cake for a long time. Yeah, and it's good.
Red velvet?
It's quite good.
Vanilla, chocolate?
Yes, and yes. Yeah, I had all of them. They're all delicious.
Stacked on top.
Cake's cake. Let's be honest. I mean, it's all good, right?
It's all good.
Name a bad cake. Oh, fruit. What's the one at Christmas? Yeah, fruit cake. That's not good.
Yeah, like a...
Oh, I found a bad cake too quickly.
Fruit cake, I've never been a big fan of fruit cake. Like
settle
all
down.
around. What?
Not a big fan?
No.
Okay, yeah.
No, too much.
I agree. No, it's not a good cake. Yeah. We've established that. That's not good.
I like carrot cake a lot.
See, I don't get that one.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of people like carrot cake. I don't trust those people.
Good cream cheese frosting?
I got to take a second round at those people and ask some more questions, you know, because I don't trust their opinions about things. Because carrot cake's pretty gross. The cream cheese icing and the carrots inside the cake, I mean, to me, the texture is not appropriate. It's strange. And once you start thinking too much about carrots, you realize I'm not even really having dessert anymore. I'm pretty much just having
If there's too much carrot
vegetables
in there, you're in a bad way. Yeah, too much vegetables, as you said. Too much carrot in there, you're in a bad way. It's got to be made well.
Most exciting interview you've ever done so far on this show?
I'm pretty happy with this. I like cake, so I'm happy with it.
I love cake.
Yeah. More cake. So let's talk about some of the big questions here. Cyberbullying and predatory teachers.
Correct.
One seems like a big issue. The other, not so much. But how did you come across it?
Now, may I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Number one, I like you, by the way.
Oh,
I just want to state that right away.
Very complimentary to Canada in the backstage, so I hope that went a long way.
Oh, it did. But I also just like you, Ricky. But which one seems like a big problem and which one doesn't seem like a big problem?
Well, in terms of getting attention, I would say cyberbullying. I don't think predatory teachers get that much attention.
Gets that much attention. But which one are you saying was a problem? Which one wasn't?
Cyberbullying would seem like it's the bigger problem than predatory teachers.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Very interesting.
In terms of a societal ill, predatory teachers seems more like an individualized problem rather than like an institutional issue.
What I find interesting about both topics is that they both combine their tech elements. There are high-tech elements that are highly influential in both scenarios, right? Because you've got teachers that now have access to their students in a way they didn't have before. At least when I was going to high school, there was no social media. So there wasn't this avenue for conversations to quietly take place outside of school. So I think it made it harder, probably, and now I feel like it might be a little easier.
That's true. You can't, like teachers when I was growing up couldn't go online and be like, well, let's see what Ricky's into in his private time and what him and his friends are doing.
Yeah, or even just following a student on Facebook is enough to probably go, oh, wait a minute, I might be able to send a message back. And it could start as innocently as that. Who knows? But back in my day, I can't believe I'd ever say that, but back in my day, and there was a day for me, back in my day, yeah, it wasn't like that. It was very different. The teacher would have to call you at home. Imagine that.
Yeah.
The home phone rings, your parents answer it.
Which that in and of itself, they would be like, is he in trouble?
Yeah.
What did he do?
Yeah,
And
no,
then, like,
he's just sexy. Can I please talk to him?
Oh yeah,
You
of
know?
course.
Yeah.
We love him. We think he's sexy too. But
We love him. He's
Yeah.
And my parents, yeah. So yeah, I think both issues are important, but you're right. I think probably worldwide, cyberbullying is definitely an issue because, like back in my day, like I said, bullying was very different. I mean, sometimes you take a punch to the face, and the next day, not that that's acceptable. Don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning anything, but I'm just saying the next.
you ever take a punch to the face?
I did, yeah. Once I took, and this is Canada wintertime, and it was like a leather glove to the face. Yeah, it was with a fist in it. It's not like they took their fist out and hit me with the glove. I don't know
Trying
what
to challenge
would
you
be
to
worse.
a duel. Yeah.
No, there's no duel. It was a blindsided punch to the face. But anyway.
A blindsided punch.
Yeah,
to the
it was a
face.
bully.
How old were you?
Oh, geez, this would have been walking back to saxophone class after school. So 7th grade.
Can I ask, is that the last fight you've been in?
License to Ill had just come out. And I was grooving to the Beastie Boys, yeah. So I know it was, yeah, that's when I was getting bullied. That was the soundtrack to my bullying. But the point is this, I got hit, but then the sun would come out the next day and you wouldn't run into your bully. Today, I think impressionable youths feel like this might last forever, and they're not developed, you know? Their minds aren't fully... I feel like if I was an impressionable young high school student, the idea of, you know, a horrible meme about you going out online, you might think, oh, the whole world is seeing this and it's permanent. It's probably existing online forever. How am I ever going to live out my life? I think those thoughts do creep into people's heads. So I think that's why in this comedy special, we like to shine a light on serious issues, and then I go ahead and I solve them. Because the media doesn't do that, I've noticed, and I don't like that. The media will ask questions. They never give you the answer. That's where I come in.
And they often ask the wrong questions.
That's entirely possible as well. I like to ask the correct questions. We do a lot of deep research. We do deep dives as well. But we do a lot of research, and then I come up with a solution. And if you watch on December 3rd, I actually do solve, and I'm not sure if you saw the entire special, but I did solve cyberbullying, and I did solve predatory teachers.
You did, in fact, solve predatory teachers, and I thought your solution
was amazing.
Yeah, quite innovative.
It was very innovative.
I don't know if we don't want to spoil what you did. Can we talk about it a little bit?
I'm contractually obligated not to reveal the final results, but I'm willing to talk. Why don't you go ahead and ask me a question? I'll see how far I'll go with it. It was very Jim Carrey face there.
That was very,
Yeah. Ricky, come on.
I'm laughing because I had a Jim Carrey moment over the weekend, and now that's in my
What was your
head.
Jim
Sorry.
Carrey moment over the weekend?
Or over Thanksgiving, I was watching Me, Myself, and Irene
Right.
because it was on, and
Yeah.
like the TV's just on with your family, and like they had
Yeah.
left the room. I was like, fine, I'll watch this instead of football. And he did the thing with his lips where he dug them into his mouth.
Yeah.
And my partner started going, "What is he doing?" She'd never seen Jim Carrey, I guess, and she was like, "What is he doing with his mouth? Why is he doing
Doesn't make
that?"
sense. Yeah.
And I was like, "It's a joke. It's part of the movie. That's his character." No, why? What is he doing? And I was
Right.
like, it's not a horror movie. Anyway, sorry.
I'm glad I asked.
Yeah.
I'm glad I asked.
I'm
but
sure
yeah,
the audience is
we
too.
did a deep
Yeah.
dive into your Jim Carrey watching. About how great was Dumb and Dumber. Let's just be honest. Forget this. Let's talk about Dumb and Dumber for a bit. Let's be honest. He should have won an Academy Award for the portrayal of Lloyd Christmas. Yeah. Oh,
Dumb and Dumber is amazing. Yeah.
Pills are good. Pills
Those
are
first
good.
4 Farrelly Brothers movies are pretty incredible. Dumb and Dumber, Kingpin, Something About Mary, Me, Myself, and Irene.
Agree to disagree.
Really?
Yeah, but let's
Which
not
one-
get into the...
which one
me,
would you
myself,
take-
and Irene, I did not enjoy personally. But
Fair
that's
enough,
just
fair
me.
enough.
That's me. That's
Fair
me.
enough.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
when things start going down a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Anyway,
Yeah.
back to your special that you're here to promote.
No, I can't believe you derailed us and got onto Jim Carrey for a bit.
Big time. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's talk more about Jim Carrey.
I'm up for whatever.
So you essentially parade a group of teachers out in front of some students, right?
Yep.
And
Well, hold on. Yes.
Am I going too far?
Well, I just want to explain so people understand. We try to solve the problem. In Texas, I think it requires this. Just so the audience here knows and the audience watching, in Texas, there was a major problem, right, with this. And the reason we went to Texas to investigate is because in a 3-year span, there were 700 reported incidences of teacher and student impropriety, okay? So the state that came in second was Pennsylvania with 45. So 700 to 45. So we went to Texas because we figured something's going on here. And we spoke to a representative, one of the House representatives, and he talked a little bit about what he had implemented to help, and it's not going to help. So this is where I come in. I'm a Canadian outsider. I look in at America and I see what's going on. America is sometimes too involved with itself. Like in a relationship, sometimes we look at our friends and we see relationships and we can point out how things aren't working, but they're too close to each other to notice the problems. And that's what's happened to America. And that's where outsiders like me, resident green card carrying aliens, come into play. I'm going to save America. And we do so in the second half. Like I said, I meet with the representative, but we find out, we tried to make students attractive to one another because we interviewed a victim. He's now 29, and he's conflicted about what happened when he had a relationship with a teacher. And we spoke to him, and we asked him, what was it? You know, why weren't you interested in your students, fellow students? Because that's what he regrets, is that he didn't develop naturally and properly and like most people do. And he said, well, his words, they were pimple-faced weirdos, you know, whereas he felt like his teacher was kind of this developed, kind of mature person. So we decided, well, that's the answer right there. And we ran the numbers, and that was the problem. We thought, what if we made all students in Texas beautiful? But that would cost the state far too much money. So we decided, well...
How would you go about that?
Well,
genetic engineering?
Yeah, well...
A process over a generation or so?
No, no. I mean, anything you'd have to do, see, we would have to study it and find out what students find attractive in each other or what they'd like to see improved. And then what we do is go ahead and if it's veneers or breast augmentation or reduction, whatever it is, we would make these students attracted to one another, in turn stopping them from looking to their teachers for, you know, an outlet. That didn't come out right. That didn't come out right either. Nothing's sounding right. But I'll tell you this: we did discover that it would cost the state of Texas too much money. So instead of making students all beautiful, it was much cheaper to make teachers non-attractive.
We'll leave it there. We can't really get too far into it.
You can continue asking. You can see how far you can push me.
No, I'm curious. I want to backtrack a little bit. You said, you know, you're a Canadian who's trying to fix America's problems. From the perspective of Canada right now, what does America look like overall?
Well, I can't speak for all Canadians. I would never do that. I would never attempt to do that. Canada, like America, is it's complex. Everyone's their own person. I can only speak for me. You know what? I'll speak for all of Canada, just for once. I think Canada's probably, maybe, I don't know, who knows, maybe a bit confused. I live in America now, so, you know, I'm inundated with American media, so I don't know what Canadians feel about America. I can't imagine. We've had our own little fun in the sun with politics.
The Fords have gained a little bit of national attention.
Doug Ford is now the Premier of Ontario, and how badly do you miss Rob Ford? Huh?
He was more fun.
He was the greatest.
Yeah.
He might be my favorite politician of all time. Ever.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
No, he was the most entertaining by far.
Because Trump would be mine if he wasn't actually president.
Yeah.
If he wasn't actually president, Trump would be the most hilarious, ridiculous, stupid politician of all time.
Yeah, like if he was the mayor of Pittsburgh, it wouldn't be a big deal. Like it would be probably a little frustrating, but on the municipal level, not huge. Not as the decisions he's making wouldn't really impact or influence as much on a lower. Anyway, so Doug Ford was the mayor. It's not like he was prime minister. He was the mayor, and Rob Ford, pardon me. And he's, I just miss the man greatly.
A great dancer.
Great dancer.
Right? That video of him dancing. And
great at smoking crack as well. I don't know if you remember that. He smoked crack a few times. He was great at that. He was really, really good at it. And
their family.
It's hard to find a mayor. No, actually, there's a few. Go ahead.
What is their isn't their family like some kind of window or glass or windshield?
In Canada, every car has a windshield. It's freezing up there. Oh,
but the Ford family themselves, aren't they some sort of rich family that comes from like a company of where they made windows or like windshields or something like that?
Maybe you would know more than I do. I just know that he was the greatest mayor that we will ever see. We'll never see anything like that again.
It must be pretty wonderful, though, to come from a country that has Trudeau right now while America has Trump.
Oh, I thought you said Trudeau, like real money, but Trudeau. Oh, I see. Yeah.
No, Trudeau, like baking dough. Like you get some really good. Yeah.
Real good dough to bake. Yeah. Well, yeah, Trudeau's interesting, you know? He's interesting. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens in a couple of years. Year and a half. I can't wait. I'm really curious.
So the first part of that special is cyberbullying. Have you ever been cyberbullied?
Well, I subjected myself to cyberbullying within the special. I'll reveal this. We set up fake accounts, and I put a challenge out to trolls on the internet to cyberbully me, and they were quite successful. They got to us. They hacked our account. It was actually kind of terrifying. I had accidentally posted a picture with my phone number and password in the background on my bulletin board. And that was accidentally posted. My assistant assured me that it was out of focus. It was not. And so we were hacked. And not only that, they created memes, and they really replicated the experience of what it would be like to be an impressionable young teen to get these, these horrible messages. I was called horrible things.
What was the worst thing that you were called?
Am I allowed? How free am I allowed to be?
Free.
Free?
Free.
Free as a bird?
Free as a bird.
Well, okay, so one picture was me as a child that happened to be up on an Instagram page, and they pulled it off. It's just me talking on a plastic phone. I was barely maybe a year old. And someone had captioned it, "It's the future calling, you're still a fucking loser." And I thought, well, that's mean. That's mean to say to a baby. And it's also mean to say to anyone. But then this one particular troll would not stop, and he actually got into our account. I had a Hillary Clinton T-shirt on in one picture, and he replaced it with a picture of Hitler, which is never good. I don't know if you know that, but you shouldn't be wearing that shirt with a big smile on your face. But so he just completely took over my life for a little bit, and some of the memes I was compared to am I allowed to say dildo?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they took a picture.
Encouraged to say dildo.
Well, this guy actually created memes of me, took a childhood photo of me and put me inside a box, and then he ran with it, like a dildo box. I'm a sex toy. And so it just kept coming up. He kept attacking me with these constant photographs of me as a dildo. And it's
in use.
It was use. It was horrifying. Yeah, it was absolutely horrifying.
I think that is a compliment, though.
What?
I mean, if someone's going to use, your likeness as a sexual object.
Keep going.
I mean, that's a compliment.
It can go anywhere, right? It doesn't just, it's going in different.
Still being used as a. It's
going all over the place.
Still being used to get off.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I've come around entirely on this one. Yeah.
I mean, the image itself is going to be unfortunate when you have to look at the image of this. But the idea that, your likeness is being replicated as an object that is used for sexual gratification, that's kind of cool.
Two things come to mind. One, I like your attitude. Because honestly...
Trying to stay positive.
I agree. But you know what? There's something to that, all right? Because there is something about toughening up a little bit and being able to laugh at yourself or a situation. I remember very well my mother telling me... I remember my mom telling me a lot of things, and a lot of them were not good.
Son, if you ever get replicated as a dildo...
That would be great. We never had that conversation. But I don't think my mother's ever said the word dildo, I gotta be honest. And I don't want a picture her saying
that into your head, sorry.
Are you really apologizing, though? I don't think you are. A little bit. So but my mother did once tell me, just laugh it off. And I remember taking that advice and using it, and it completely disarmed people that were bothering me when I was young. So that worked, and there's something to being able to take a deep breath and go, it's not the end of the world, and laugh it off. And then it really disarms, I think, everyone. So there's a little bit of that, but also there's a real aggression out there in the world. So the point is this. Our production team got in contact with a troll, this particular troll that was sending all these harassing tweets and had taken over account. And we contacted him and asked if he would come out and get his reward, and we spoke to him. So it's not often you get to meet these people that hide in the shadows of the internet. And he came out and he spoke to us.
How coherent did you find his philosophy of trolling?
So he has he really believes in what he's doing. How coherent? Yeah. He definitely believes that trolling serves a purpose. He thinks being tough and aggressive with people really helps find the middle ground of where society should be. He thinks that there's soft weakness on one end, and he thinks that there's aggressive strength on the other. And the two, if they're not properly, you have to continually balance them in order to find harmony in the center. Those are his thoughts. And he's not totally off. We actually borrowed that theory in order to come to our conclusion.
And he sort of brings people to the center by attacking the weak with toughness.
Yeah, it's Aristotle's extreme of means, if you would like to do some deep background research. But yeah, that's how he refers to it. And it's not untrue if you've done any, studying of Aristotle's philosophy. Yeah, in the middle we find this balance.
Did you go back and study the philosophy yourself?
I did deep research, yes. I was on Wikipedia. Yeah.
And he was correct in his philosophy. At least he was referencing it correctly.
Oh, completely. Yes, of course. Yeah. No. We wouldn't have talked to him otherwise, or we wouldn't have used his idea otherwise in order to come up with our huge solution, which we do, by the way. I solved cyberbullying, which I was quite impressed with. Yeah, I did. I solved cyberbullying, and if anyone has questions about it, I gladly answer them later. But yeah, we do solve it.
Do you think you came up with a better solution than Melania Trump's Be Best campaign and plan?
Melania, I'll be honest with you. I think her intentions are good, but I am disappointed. I'm disappointed in her. I think actions speak louder, so we've got to act, and that's what I do here. And I don't mind doing it. I don't mind sacrificing my fun. I used to do stand-up comedy. Okay, I still do, but I used to. That's a Mitch Hedberg joke. I just realized. I still do, but I used to too. But yeah, I still do stand-up, but you know what? My heart is in helping people. And that's what I want to do. Sometimes I just walk down the street and people will come up to me and say, thank you. Just the way you carry yourself gave me the courage to go on. And I said, hey, no problem. I'm gracious about it now. I'll say thank you.
Were you not gracious at first when people would say that?
Oh, sometimes I'd be like, you're joking. But now I just say thank you. And I say, have a great day. And I continue walking.
Do you touch them on their shoulder or anything? Like, thank you, my son.
If they ask. Otherwise, I don't touch people unless they ask to be touched. Yeah. What do you get
How often do you find, well, it sounds very Jesus-like what you're saying right now.
Oh, not at all. I just walk down the street and people say thank you and I go, you're welcome, and that's it.
Oh, so they don't necessarily know who you are. It's like you're getting out of the way.
No, they're just more like this guy.
Excuse me, thank you kind of thing.
This guy's got a reason and a purpose. I should have a reason and a purpose. I think that's probably what it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you
Super
find
interesting.
that you're often walking down the street in slow motion in your mind?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, yeah. But it's all the music I play. Yeah.
What is the music thing?
Soundtracks to films are really good. Like I'll do True Romance, just the ding 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 ding. I do that one a lot, and then I just walk in slow motion down the street.
You gonna play a song?
No, it's just my friend Tim is calling me.
Do you want to put him on?
I'm not gonna get it. No, you don't want that to happen.
Okay, good. Let's get some audience Q&A. What do we got?
Hi, thank you so much for being here. I was just wondering if you had any advice for anyone who is going through cyberbullying.
Do I have advice for anyone going through cyberbullying? I don't, other than talk. Don't be afraid to talk. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's a great question. Because what do you say? Everything's so unique, but you just gotta talk and get help. And yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, it's a tough question. Because I would hate to also answer that in a weird way because I'm not qualified. I feel qualified to develop an app that would help people, but I don't know what I would say to someone who was being cyberbullied. But definitely tell people about it, talk, and you're not wrong. Yeah.
There's also something that doesn't work about giving advice, and then that advice doesn't work, and the person feels more alone. It's kind of like you said, just people should talk.
Well, I think it's like, well, what's happening? What do you think you should do? What would you feel comfortable doing? And I think that's how you explore it, but to get them to talk about it and they'll come to it. But just, yeah, you can't keep it inside. Yeah. Got to let it out.
Next question.
Hi. So as an American, sometimes I feel like running away from America.
Okay.
And I feel like a lot of people would agree that sometimes we dream about being Canadian, just with the problems that are here. So I'm curious as to why your show focuses on specifically America and the issues of America to solve those problems.
Well, it's as simple as we pitched the show to Comedy Central, and they happen to be an American channel.
But these topics aren't necessarily aren't uniquely American, like cyberbullying
Not at
all
all.
over the world.
Yeah, absolutely. You're totally right. So that's a great question. Like, these problems do exist all over the world. America's a little, I think, I could be wrong, but I think maybe tipping the scale in the inappropriate student-teacher relationship department. I think. The idea was essentially there was a hysteria going on. We can't deny that the Trump administration has had something to do with where this idea came from. But you know, when we pitched this show to Comedy Central, we said we'd love the people that watch it say, wow, that really shines a light on some serious issues, but I also laughed and learned something, and what an idiot Jon is. Me. That's the goal of the show. And we also want people like Donald Trump to watch it and say, that guy has some great ideas. That's how we pitched it, because I think, you know...
I can see that being possible.
I do too, because there's a line you can draw between the problem and the answer. And you can say, yeah, I can
Very
see
clear,
how he got
easy
there.
line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can see how he got there, but no one should think that way, because it's not right. And when people poke holes in my ideas, which is what the whole show is based on, they fall apart rather quickly to the people who get it. But I feel like, you know, someone who tweets, it snowed today, what happened to global warming, or whatever.
I feel like if
You know what I mean? I think that's an 8-year-old argument. I remember thinking that when I was 8.
if you threw this a segment of this onto Fox and Friends in the morning, he may actually sort of tell it to his aides.
Well, that's our
later
goal.
In the afternoon.
That was our goal. Was like, can we get on Fox and Friends? But yeah.
Really?
Well, yeah, or something like that. I feel like we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like so worried themselves about being trolled and made fun of. They know. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think we would. Yeah, I wouldn't have approached it that way. But yeah, I think. Anyway, it would have been great to get on there. But yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
Next question. Oh, we're done. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Jon.
No problem.
The Big Questions, Huge Answers special is December 3rd on Comedy Central. Right?
After the Daily Show at 11:30.
Amazing. Congratulations, Jon. Everybody give a big round of applause
Thank
for
you, Ricky.
Jon Dore. Let's hear it.